Ladies and gentlemen, come gather round, come gather round, come gather around. Today, we're going to revisit the brake lathe wheel cutter. Somebody, not me, was inspired with the painting that I did on these wheels that I widened, and they painted their own wheels, which is pretty cool. And somebody, not me, might have had a little bit of a misadventure. And so somebody, not me, is going to do a little bit of repair work on this wheel. Okay, I'll do some of it. So, we're going to cut this bad lip off, weld on a better lip, and see if we can make it hold air. Let's go! So I know your first question is going to be why? Why would you make a kid do this? Well, sometimes labor is a good teacher. So I'm using it. It's pretty straightforward, easy to use. It's going to run. There's a power switch right down here. When you turn it on, it just rotates. And when you're done, you just turn it off. Okay? There's no real magic here. What is the magic is this, which we're going to turn on, and then you're going to slowly feed this in super slow. Right? Yep. Push and click. Very slow. It's going to take a while, yeah, but if you push too hard, you'll flex this whole thing, and then it'll cut somewhere drunk, and then I can't get the other wheel edge to fit this. So it's got to be as gentle as you can. Right now, it's going to go da-da-da, 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 da-da-da. Eventually it'll go da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da as it grinds through the whole thing. Eventually it'll break through. This whole thing may just fall off. It won't fly across the room, and it'll probably just go pop and hit and rattle. And that's okay. Don't even worry about trying to catch it. Just shut the machine off and wait for it to come to a stop. Okay. But it should not fly across the room. Beyond that, go nice and gentle. You can feel it starting to cut a groove. Yep, nice and slow. Eye protection, ear protection. Good luck. I'm going to go have some lunch. If anything goes wrong, shut it off, come and get me. Okay. I will be back after I've eaten something. All right. So this is not the first wheel that I've cut apart and modified or changed or altered. It is the first wheel that I've fixed from a defect. Not shown on camera, I did spend a fair bit of time trying to straighten the back of the barrel because it did kind of, when this thing hit a curb, it did kind of mess up the whole wheel. But I was able to get the back pretty darn good. I didn't worry about the outside lip because I was just going to cut it off and weld on another. It will work fine. And I'm like, oh no, my gosh, it's you're welding wheels. How horrible is that? Yeah. But I've also shortened vehicle frames and welded them back together, and I've made my own control arms, and I've made my own drive shafts, and I've made my own suspension, and I've made my own a whole lot of stuff. I'm confident in my abilities. If you are not confident in your abilities, to the point that other people are saying, you know what, you do pretty good work. If you're not there, you should not be doing this. This is not logical. Nevertheless, it's never stopped me before, and it's not going to stop me again. He's cutting her, and once we get the pieces cut off, I will weld it together because I trust my welding and almost nobody else's. At any rate, I had my tasty little lunch, and I kept an ear out to see when he was done, and then when it sounded like he was finished, I came out to survey the damage. And it turned out pretty good. The cutting was okay. I think the hoop will be hung up on the wall as an offering to the god of speed, or a reminder not to do that again. I guess another question you could ask is, does he know I'm recording him doing all this? Yes, he does, or I don't know if he did, but I did ask his permission if I could use him in the video, and he did say yes. So there it is. In this case, this is an old 15 off of my wife's Pontiac Sunfire that we sold a number of years ago. I had an extra set of wheels because I was going to put them on a Buick that we had. Turns out the bolt pattern was different, but I had sold the Sunfire, so I still had the wheels, which sat on a shelf. And I think I cut some of them up into like vices on a stand for the kiddies at the school, and I might have even had one at home. But I still had a couple extra wheels, so since it's a 15 and the lip wasn't too bad, we chucked it up is not really the exact word, but put her on the machine, and we're cutting the lip off of this one. This wheel was actually pretty weird. It was not very true at all, and I'm pretty sure they were original GM wheels. So whether they came with the car or not, I don't remember. So at this point, I had tacked the wheel together and was getting ready to weld. This is TIG welded. I used the rule of 33 that I got from weldingtipsandtricks.com, which I think is, I don't remember if it was like 33 hertz or something. I set this to like 0.8, I think. So about 80% of a second. Does that make sense? And then had the pulsar set at about 160 amps, I think. And tacked her all together and then just kind of went for it. And the nice thing with the pulsar is I can be very consistent in how I'm welding the whole thing. And then once it was all welded all the way around, I need to check and make sure that I can actually get in there with the tungsten, which was okay. The last thing you want to do is weld it all up and realize you can't actually finish it. I wanted to weld on both sides just to make gosh darn sure that I got it all. Plus, a nice bead on the inside can give a pretty appearance where you can't actually get a sander in. Okay. Phase 2. Come hither. Okay. This is still hot. Okay. When you can pick it up, you're going to take it over and you're going to sandblast the seam. And then I got to weld it from this side. Okay. Okay. Second verse, same as the first, a little bit louder, a little bit worse. We've got this tigged all the way around the outside, round the outside, round the outside. And then with the pulsar, about 160 amps, and try to get a nice appearing weld bead on the inside. So with a coat of paint, you'd hardly notice it's there. And we got a sweet little consistent bead all around the outside, both of which were blasted before welding. So I kind of missed it because I was running an errand, but I sprayed a coat of etching primer and a coat of satin or semi-gloss black. So next he'll spray silver around the lip to replace that. And turns out I missed this one too. So there's the coat of silver. Then took this off to the school shop to put the tire back on, and I'm directing my kid to help him learn how to use the tire machine and the tire balancer. It's really difficult to not get in there and demo it and do it. And even though I'm a teacher as a professional, to sit back and not get dirty is actually takes a fair bit of self-discipline. However, he did pretty good. We put a new core in there, a new stem, aired it up, popped the beads on, not in that order, and balanced it, and it actually balanced pretty good. 1/4 ounce on one side and a 1/2 ounce on the other, which is not bad for a wheel that was hammered into a curve and then welded back together with a part from a Chevy. So, not bad. And with that, somebody, not me, has learned an awful lot about balancing wheels and tires, and fixing wheels and making things better. There you go. Thanks for watching. Take care.
Subscribe! All right.